In this tutorial, I will show you how to make your own chain link choker. It's based on European 4-in-1 weave, which is made of sets of 4 rings in 1 ring. You can apply these same principles to European 6-in-1, 8-in-1, 10-in-1, etc. And your final product will look something like this. I assume you already know proper technique for opening and closing rings. For this weave, you will need 2 sets of pliers. I prefer flat nose pliers with a spring that keeps them open. You will also need a number of opened and closed rings. The exact number will depend on the length you want, but as a rule of thumb, close twice as many rings as you open and then add 2 more closed rings. Start by picking up 1 open ring and hold it with your pliers. Next, you will add 4 closed rings. Now that you've added those rings, you're going to close the open ring. Once you've completed that, you'll want to arrange the rings so that the outside rings are oriented the same way. When you're first starting out this weave, it may be easiest to lay it out on a table to make sure it's arranged properly. As you can see, the rings overlap the middle ring in the same direction, with the left side of the ring sitting under the middle ring and the right side coming up and over. This may seem simple, but it's pretty easy to get a couple of rings twisted in the wrong direction. Once you've made sure your rings are oriented correctly, you can attach another open ring through the top 2 rings. Now make sure the new ring you added is oriented in the same direction as the middle ring that's already attached. Next, add 2 more closed rings, then close the open ring. Once you get used to this weave, you can just flip the rings into the correct order and continue the weave to your desired length. I'm using a slide lock clasp with 4 loops for this choker, so I'll start with 4 open rings. I'm also using rings that are smaller than the ones I used in my weave. This will make it less likely for the rings to slip out of the clasp over time, and I think it looks better. To start, take one of the open rings and slip it through a ring at the end of your weave. Slip the clasp on and close the ring. Take the next open ring and put it through the same ring at the end of your weave and the next loop on the clasp. This can be tricky since the rings tend to move around and you want to make sure they keep the correct orientation. Continue these steps until the clasp is fastened on both sides. You're done!